Afternoon, everybody. It is Easter weekend, and we are in central London this afternoon. And you can see behind me we are at the Donmar warehouse now. Josie Rourke, who has been the artistic director of the Donmar for some time now, is handing over the reins, and her swan song production is unusually and surprisingly a musical that people would know very well. It's Sweet Charity by Cy Coleman. And people will know a lot of the show from Big Spender, If They Could See Me Now, I Always Cry at Weddings, etc. So you can see we're about to go in now. Tickets for this show are in mega short supply. It's sold out in a matter of minutes, and quite an interesting production from the point of view. It's quite a big show to be putting into a very small venue. Anyone who knows the Donmar knows it is a very small place, and they've also very cleverly stunt casted the role of Big Daddy, who sings obviously at the beginning of the show, beginning of the second act, The Rhythm of Life. And in this production they are special guesting the show, so every week or so often there will be a new person. Now I believe that we have got Adrian Lester in the role, but coming up is the Gateau Chocolat, Beverly Knight, all taking over the role. But anyway, I will tell you some more about the show later, and always come back to you with a bit of a review of it. Sweet Charity at the Donmar warehouse. So we've just come out of Sweet Charity, and it was probably the best production of Sweet Charity I've ever seen. Now, I've never been a huge fan of the show, I have to be honest, but I do think that the class move of this wonderful production at the Donmar warehouse was to cast an actress, a proper classical actress, in the role of Charity Hope Valentine. So Anne-Marie Duff, who takes that role, has given the character so many layers and flaws and facets, and gives an exhilarating, multi-layered, full-bodied Charity, who actually, for the first time ever, I've genuinely loved and cared about. Now, with that, there's always a but. She's not the world's greatest singer, and this is something that I've always said. She's to actually be in a situation where you've got somebody that good as acting, you kind of forget. And I think musicals always need actors, firstly. So Anne-Marie Duff's performance in this production is wonderful. It is also very vital, so the whole set is silver, it is extremely creative, so by that I mean it is inventive. The opening scene, which anyone who knows the show involves being pushed into a lake, is absolutely so clever, because they actually use a huge ball pull of football, like kids go in. And because of that, she ends up being pushed into this ball and fished out of it, and the balls go everywhere on the stage, but we imagine that as being dripping with water. Absolutely ingenious. Also the fairground scene in Act 2, and the lift. Now the lift is done with an overhead projector and a sheet, and they use little lights and little models for the fairground, so quite extraordinary how they do that. The other point I'd make, the show, that the fantastic band of 10, which they put in the bar next door. So the Donmar really is stripped back with the Revolve, and bits they bring on, and the whole set is painted silver, so it gives this real metallic sort of 60s look. Costumes fabulous, also a real ensemble piece, so just standouts in the ensemble. Debbie Currup and Lizzie Connolly, who people will know from the West End for lots of years, are absolutely wonderful in their small featured roles. But the ensemble also double up as people who, they play everything in the show as well. So it's quite cleverly done. Lighting is fantastic, and musically they have managed to rescore the show, so it sounds wonderful. So we're back home now, and so yeah, I think you probably see my thoughts so far. Now, the hard thing about vlogging about this show is tickets are extremely hard to come by. It's sold out very quickly. The Donmar warehouse is very small. There are a few things though. So we got our tickets by literally, and I'm not trying to promote them, but following the Donmar warehouse on Twitter, and they announced that there were some tickets free, and we managed. There were about 7 or 8 choices for the matinee and the evening, and that was, I think, Friday afternoon I bought them. So keep an eye on the website. They are they are releasing tickets as they go. Also, at 10 o'clock every day they release standing room, and returns. And weekly they do like a lotto as well. So there are some choices to see it. And really, if you're a musical theatre fan, you know, it can't be missed. It is so, so clever. And for many years, I don't think Sweet Charity has really been one of my favourite shows. I remember the one that they did at the Menier Chocolate Factory not long ago. And the show always leaves me feeling a bit like, oh, you know, I know it's a classic and I know it's got some classic tunes in it, but I always find that, you know, it's kind of always made into something it isn't. And the fabulous thing about this production is so honest, it is so real. Now, you've heard me in the previous clips talk to you about Anne-Marie Duff. Her performance as Charity and coming at that from an actress point of view is just extraordinary. I mean, she puts so many layers onto the character and there's so much emotion throughout the show. Obviously, the book by Neil Simon is very much structured like a play. So I think sometimes when I've seen performances of this done by musical theatre people, they kind of forget that they're actually acting this part and this character, and it is very, very you know, it's quite a tough act. So one thing that she will do in this show, she'll just take it to another place with her acting, which is fantastic. Arthur Darvill, also who plays Oscar, is also very strong, and those scenes, you know, you'd be forgiven to think you're watching a play. Really, it is so strong, so brilliantly done. As I say, the innovation, the way they do the fairground, the ball pool for the lake, etc., etc., that's really extraordinary, and the whole thing is so brilliantly executed by the ensemble, moving things on a silver thrust kind of metallic stage. So, you know, absolutely extraordinary. As I said to you in an earlier vlog as well, one of the things that's quite clever about the production is they've actually guest cast the role of Daddy, who obviously opens the second act with drop the camera. Who opens the second act with Rhythm of Life. So anyone who knows, again, the show, all that person normally does in the show is sing that one number. And normally the show is that number's a big happy clappy number. It's one of the most well-known songs from the show, I think. And in this production, they've kind of set it into this sort of San Francisco underground jazz club, and the jokes about it being like a traveling jazz club, a traveling church, really do work. And what they're doing with it is they're actually guest casting it. So we saw Adrian Lester. I think next week is Legato Chocolat, who is a drag queen. The week after that is Beverly Knight. The week after that is Clive Rowe. So they're just going in to do that role. So it's a bit of a lotto who you will get to see, which is absolutely great as well. And they're still casting those roles as well. So that's going to give the show a new freshness as well. If you've been to anything at the Donmar before, I mean, you'll always see it's such an experience being so close to those actors as well. So it's an extraordinary day. So overall, if you are getting a chance to see this show, I will definitely, without hesitation, give it 5 stars. I will already make a pledge and say that I will see it in the Best Revival category at the Olivier's next year, and we will almost certainly see Anne-Marie Duff's name in the Best Actress in a Musical category next year as well. So please subscribe to the videos. Lots coming, lots more happening, as well as a week in New York coming up quite soon, so I'm going to start telling you some stuff about that as well. Please subscribe below, and also please give a like and also hit the bell if you want to hear more videos being uploaded. Subscribers growing all the time, so absolutely fantastic to sort of be able to share all this stuff with you. Also, please follow me on Twitter. Twitter is Adam Amdram, which is growing really quickly as well, and also Instagram and Facebook, Amdram Adam. So that's Sweet Charity at the Donmar Warehouse until the middle of June. And I look forward to seeing you on the aisles soon. Take care.